Welcome back to the No Fun channel. I'm Felix. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I actually remembered to do it. I actually wasn't going to do this podcast. It's Saturday. Usually I have it done long before now. But I decided to go ahead and do it. Because I did it before the end of last year. I wasn't going to post every Sunday. But for some reason, I just feel compelled to keep going. Maybe I'll stop at some point. But for right now, I just kind of like doing it. I still like doing it. Yeah. I think my biggest thing is I want to find something for the channel. I don't want to just do Reddit stories. I still want to not have one thing that the channel's about. Still kind of like just doing whatever. I don't know. But with everything going on, I think this is just normalcy for me. I've gotten used to doing it, so I just felt compelled to do it. But with everything going on, we're discovering that people outside the United States are protesting against America and for America in the sense that they're praying for us. I mean, they're literally praying for us, which is scary when you think about it. And Germany's on high alert. So much is going on. It's just wow. And then the governor of Texas, keep in mind, he's in a wheelchair. Just to erase DEI, I think he forgot he's a DEI. I think someone should point that out to him. Like, hey, you're DEI. You got to step down. So I think that would freak him out. He'll probably be like, oh, there's exceptions to the rule. And it's like, oh, really? But yeah, he's DEI because he's in a wheelchair. And so, yeah, he technically can't be governor no more, getting rid of DEI. But, and then there's rumors of impeachment, which will probably never happen. Technically he should be in jail, so they're not going to do anything. Hopefully we survive and the next 4 years. But, yeah, I don't know. It's just crazy what's going on. I mean, we just got out of January. Oh, that's one thing. The TikToks about January have been hilarious. I watched a lot of them, and it's just man, I can't believe this year's almost over. People it's still January, and they start crying, and it'll go January day 315, and from the time one day I was talking to my son, he's only been in office for 9 days. My son just kind of looked down and shook his head. My son's 13, we're going to be 13. Even he gets it. It's what in the world is going on? It's this has got to stop. And then they were talking about passing laws so Trump could run again. And people were like, oh, if we get to vote, I'm voting for Obama. Let's get Obama to run again. And in fact, that would be Obama and Bill Clinton. There we go. Well, Bill Clinton doesn't look in too good of health, but still, Obama and Bill Clinton running for president. That's a tag team right there. And I think that would work. He would definitely lose. You got two charismatic guys going up against Trump. I think they could win over the people. But, yeah, it's only February 8th, and it just keeps getting worse. All the plane crashes. I don't know. Oh, man. Well, on a lighter note, I'm only 4 minutes in and already out of breath. My brain hurts from all the crap that goes on. But I did finally start doing Moho and playing around with it. I need to get a set schedule because I almost had a set schedule, and then I've said it before. I hate to say this about my wife, but I kind of feel like she's sabotaging me when I try to do stuff. I don't know what's going on, but I love my wife, but yeah, lately it's what is going on? And I will give her credit because we went and did stuff Friday. I took Friday off when I had to go help her with some stuff. We walked over the place, and I think I must have walked 2 miles. But in between the 2 miles, I walked 1 mile in the morning because we were doing so much stuff just walking around. She has her, Fitbit, and it tracked her that we did a little over 1 mile. And we just went different places. And then when I came home, it was probably around 2 or 3. I went to the gym and worked out. And then we went some more places, and I think we walked another mile. So it was like, this is killing me. And today was the father-son day. So me and my son went out today, and we walked over the place. My lower back is killing me. I feel horrible. And I was juiced up yesterday. I had so many energy drinks. I was doing those double shot Starbucks drinks, and I think I had like 4 of them. Oh my God. This morning, I was still crashing. Because last night I crashed. I think that was the only thing keeping me awake yesterday. I was so out of it. My energy levels was gone. Like when I went to work, I did do this for the first time in a long time. It was a full body workout, sort of. I'll say sort of. Because I did skip doing my back and shoulders. And I went and focused on my arms and chest. And then I went into my legs. I couldn't do the abductors. That's the one where you push out the scissor leg move. Because 2 girls were just sitting on both the machines that do that. They were just sitting there. And every now and again they move their legs. And I wanted to scream at them, get off the machine. But I didn't. I just I'll call it, and left. Because I looked at it this way. I've been walking a lot today. So I was like, and I got to go someplace else and do some more walking. So I definitely got my legs in. And I skipped the treadmill mainly because I was walking everywhere. And then today I did a lot of walking. So, yeah. Oh, and today me and my son went and saw Sonic 3. And he really liked it. He liked it. He had fun. And that was the main thing. I'll be honest. Wasn't that big of a fan. It was an okay movie. It's one of those movies that's like, I should have stayed home to watch it, is what it felt like to me. He liked it, and that's all that counts. But yeah, and there's a lot of movies coming out. Like the new Final Destination, Bloodline. Was it Brave New World, Captain America, Smurfs? I didn't know there was a Smurf one coming out. It was Jurassic Park. I saw someone talking about that. It's like, what's with the kids? Why are there kids on the park? It's like, stop with the kids on the park. And it's right. There's no reason for kids to be in Jurassic Park anymore. It should be all adults. It's like it's a running gag now that there's kids there. It's like, who's taking kids to these islands? Stop it. You're a horrible parent. But yeah, it's just like, you got to cut that out. But back to Moho. I'm going to go ahead and I took an image of the Reddit character. I don't know the name of it, the little thing. And I animate. I'll throw the animation up in here to show you what I did with it. And I use it when I do my Reddit stuff videos. I'll put it at the beginning and the end. And I scanned it into Moho and I was going to reanimate it. But what I got in Moho looks horrible. Not the overall outline of it. It looks more cartoonish. But when you do it in there, you got to create shapes and stuff. And I think I messed up on doing the arms and the legs. And so I'm going to redo it. I'm not going to delete it. I'm just going to start over. I'll keep that one. Maybe go back to it later sometime. But I'm going to redo the shapes. Because now I think about the arms shouldn't be so janky looking. It's really, if you saw what I created, you're a Moho or an animator, and you saw what I created, you'd be like, what is that crap? Because I got a degree in animation. I didn't use it, but as I'm creating, I was like, this is horrible. This is really horrible. So I need to go back and watch that first Moho video and that I watched on creating stuff because I can't remember how to do certain things. It was that quick, I forgot. So I need to go back and watch it again. And this time what I'll do is, as I'm watching it, I'll use the Reddit character instead and rig it up. But yeah, it's like, it's a horrible design. When you turn off the lines, it looks good. But when you turn the lines back on, you're like, oh yeah, that's horrible. So, and then I did think about trying to do the mask over the thing. Mainly because I'm just having it wave, but there's really no reason to fix it. You know what? Now that I think about, I'm not going to go back and I'm not going to worry about that. I'm going to go ahead and do what I was originally going to do. And that was work on my characters for. I have a character I was working on, and I'm going to go back. I have the drawing somewhere, and it was called Happy Ending, and I just called it that. It has nothing to do with sex. It's basically about a soldier walking across the field trying to get out of a war zone, and some stuff happens, and the ending is the reason I call it Happy Ending. And so yeah, I think I'm gonna go find that, scan it into Moho, rig him up, because this is a 2D, basically like a side-scrolling thing. Because he never turns towards the camera, he just walks sideways, so that should be easy to rig up. I just need to rig up his legs, one arm, his head, so it's up and down. And the way I was going to do it, you never see his face. You'll see like maybe part of the nose and the mouth, and you never see the eyes or the hair or anything. Would you see the ears? You might see the ears. I have to go in and see, but you won't see anything else. And then I was going to have stuff going on in the background. That was really going to be the focus. Like he's kind of centered, and you'll see stuff in the background as he's walking. And then in the background, you'll see a helicopter flying past, and the camera will focus on that. I got it drawn out in my head. I had a rough layout for it. I need to find it, and I think it's in that folder I created. My problem is focus. I get so done with this stuff, and I start 50 projects and never finish any of them. Well, I can't say I never finished any of them. Some I did finish. I finally wrote 2 books. I haven't done the third. I was going to do a third book, and I still haven't done it. So see, I got a million things in my head, and I'm still not doing it. But I'll get it together. But yeah, I'm definitely enjoying playing around in Moho. I need to go back. I want to get so familiar with it that I'm good to go. I spent that money on it. I want to be able to use it and do stuff. So I might focus on that and maybe get my mind focused and just work on creating. But I was going to do a kind of a manga at first for some stuff, but I really want to animate it. So I might just pick a project and do it and animate it. A lot of my animations are going to be simple because it's really just me narrating, so I don't really have to worry about talking. And I can even show the character and still talk without moving their mouth because it's not going to be necessary. Because again, it'll just be me. Now, I would like to be able to animate a fight scene. I know those are hard to do, but maybe when I get there one day, I'll animate a fight scene. Because I did have an idea for a Dragon Ball fan fiction. And what's funny is, even with my idea, I don't really have a big fight scene. There's like a fighting at the beginning, but it's like a big brawl at the beginning. And then the main character just is like overpowered, and there's not really fight scenes with that character. He's just whooping up on everybody. But yeah, I'm going to stay focused. I'm going to work on that one happy ending, and I'm going to post it on this channel. And then I'll just keep going from there. And hopefully, that was another thing I should mention. I had it going to be a certain, like almost like black and white, with a few colors here and there. Like I was going to have the dramatic blood is going to be red. Maybe you'll see the tears. We'll have tear. Wait, I didn't originally think of tears. So no tears, but there'll be blood. Like, and you'll see like darkness. Like he has his uniform on, so you'll see the darkness in the uniform. Things like that. Because it starts off, like he's trying to run, and he's hurt. It starts off, kind of focused on his arm, like he's shot in the arm, and he's holding his arm running. So I was going to do that, but yeah, I think I am going to do that. I'm going to focus on that and get that going, just one project at a time. I've been trying to. Back to working out. I've been working on my diet. I started drinking some V8 to help with my cravings. And one thing that I noticed about the V8, now I'm not a sponsor of V8. I don't sponsor V8. But if they want to sponsor me, it was weird. As a kid, I used to not like V8, but as I got older, I started liking it. And then my mom one time bought like a sodium-free V8, and I was like, bleh. Like, this is horrible. And But yeah, when I drink V8 now, it fills me up. It's not the little shot cans, but it's like, oh, speaking of V8, anyone who ever drank V8, do you remember when it had like it was like a thin thing on it and you just peeled it off? Well, anyways, that was just a thought that popped in my head. But yeah, the V8 seems to be working. Like if I was going to do a liquid diet, I could just drink a V8 because I'll drink a V8 in the morning and I feel like I'm good to go. And then maybe something at lunch. And sometimes I'm not even hungry at lunch because I eat breakfast late sometimes. So I'll make it all the way to dinner. And it's like just drink one V8 and a bunch of water and I'm good to go. Although I did have to cut back on V8 because I hadn't had a V8 in like a day or two and I burnt and I could taste the V8 still. I was like, oh, I think I need to cut back on the V8. Yeah, I can still taste it. That's not good. It's like if I had that many V8s, like let me cut back. Jeez. Ooh. But yeah. Oh my goodness. But yeah, so much. No. I was watching the Internet City guys, and I would like to do some real world stuff, IRL stuff. But around here, there's no place I can think to go. Where I live is just almost like a small town. There's nothing to really explore, and honestly, I wouldn't want to explore a lot of places around here because people are idiots. Oh, something that popped. They were talking about Mandela effects, and there was, or the TV show Sex and the City, and people talking about they remember it being in the city. It's like I remember that too. I remember it both ways because I remember it was syndicated at one point, and while it was still on, and I know it's for the syndicated side. It says Sex in the City because I remember when it came on, and I know right off it doesn't sound like a show I would watch, but for whatever reason I got into it. But I remember right off thinking, are these two different shows? Because it confused me, and I remember that confusion of seeing both. So it was like, what is going on? And it's like, oh my goodness, it's both. You know, it's the same show. And the reason I dismissed it back then is because there was a comedian named Garry Shandling. Some of you may remember him, the senator in Captain America who was Hydra. He was also in Iron Man too. He was the senator there. But he had two shows, like It's the Garry Shandling Show and The Garry Shandling Show. So he had two different shows as well that were pretty much airing at the same time. And I believe one was syndicated and the other was like HBO. And so that's why I dismissed it, because I thought they were just doing like that to distinguish between the two. And a lot of people think, oh, because we can't find proof of it, it's not true. That's not true either. Because for the longest, we couldn't find proof of the cornucopia for Haynes. But that was disproven that really existed. People try to say, oh, it never existed. No, it existed. Because I remember that too. And someone finally found proof of it. It's like, they knew they weren't crazy. Like, I knew I wasn't crazy. I remember that very distinctly, that at some point they did have it. And it's like they just tried to wipe the internet out for some reason. And which is interesting, because that just happened to me with my medication. I had, in my medication history, has been wiped. My provider went in there and wiped my medication history and redid all my medication. Because she wanted to change my medication. I said, no, let's not change it just yet, because I'm trying to lose weight and that may change things. And then I go in and my medication's been wiped and changed. It's like, you son of a... And so now it's like, that was never there. So it's like, oh, you gotta be kidding me with this crap. But that aside, I need to find a new product. I really don't like mine. There's something about her I just don't like. I feel like I have to keep talking to her to get her to understand things, and I don't like it. I don't like having to fight with people who I'm paying to take care of me, pretty much. And that's what it feels like, and I just got to find someone else. And for anyone who thinks, oh, it's because she's one. No, I've had women doctors or providers before. It's not that. It's just I don't think I'm meant to be taken care of by her. But a lot of these Mandela effects too are. A lot of Mandela effects are people just misremembering things. Like the Monopoly guy having a monocle. There's two things with that. Sorry, I got something in my eye. One, I kind of wonder if people are getting confused with Mr. Peanut, the monocle, because Mr. Peanut has a monocle, and there were generic versions of Monopoly out there, so I wonder if they had the monocle, and that's what they're remembering. Because I remember in the 80s and 90s, there were generic versions of every game, every toy. So that could be what they're remembering. Man, I cannot stop touching my face right now. It's like itchiness and dryness. I don't know what's going on. But, yeah. Mandela effects are not alternate reality stuff happening. They're fun to play with. But, yeah, there's a lot of stuff like people talk, I remember Mandela died in prison. I do not remember that at all. That's not how I remember it at all. When I first heard of Nelson Mandela, I heard he was being released from prison, and then he was president. So that's why I don't get where this whole he died in prison came from. I don't remember anyone saying they remember him dying in prison. So for me, that's the Mandela effect, is that I don't remember anyone thinking he died in prison. But now the whole internet, he died in prison. And it's like now people, and once again, it's come back up again about the whole Michael Jackson wasn't say mama sa. And it's like, yes, he was. Stop this crap. And I mean, it's literally written in the lyrics. That's what he was saying. So, yeah, cut that crap out. It's one thing to play around with the Mandela effect. It's fun. Oh, yeah. Just have a little laugh. But when people start taking it to heart, it's like, yeah, you're going a little too far with it. And there are some things where people calling stuff a Mandela effect. And I'm like, yeah, I lived through it. It was never like that. They changed it. Because there's one thing where they try to say Mandela effect. I can't remember what it was. Like, no, it was never like that. I don't know where it's like I said, with the Nelson Mandela stuff. And did you know a lot of people don't even know what the Mandela effect is named after? They don't know who Nelson Mandela is. Oh my God, I'm getting clonked down my cock. Oh, salty. Gross. Yeah, I went on a tangent. I just remembered. I talked about animating the Reddit mascot. When I animated it originally, I did it in Clip Studio, and I just cut the arm off at where the joint would be, and just had it rotate. And I don't know why that just popped in my head, but it did. I guess I just felt like I had to explain how I animated it. But Mandela effects. So far, I really haven't come across a Mandela effect where I'm like, yeah, it was that way. Because a lot of them, I'm just like, I probably just remember it wrong. And then I'll go back and oh yeah, I remember it now. It was this way. And it's like, I just remember it wrong. And a lot of movie lines too, people talk about Mandela effect on movie lines. It's not that that's a Mandela effect. That is just, it's not being quote quote. We rewrote the line to fit the narrative, if you will. Because there was a famous line where the guy was like, "You dirty rat, you'll never take me alive." And the actor that's supposed to be quoted as saying that won an award. And he got up on stage and says, I don't know, he pretty much goes, I never said you dirty rat. That is not the line. I can't remember what the line is, but yeah, he's like, I never said that. And he's like, he doesn't know where it came from, why people misquoted him. And that's like the whole Luke, I'm your father. That's the wrong line as well. And what happens is, it's like the word of mouth game where you whisper something in someone's ear and they whisper to the next person. And by the time you get all the way around, it's been changed. And that's one of those things that it just sort of happens. So it's not so much that we're misremembering. It's that the incorrect line has become so popular, it overshadows the real line. And so we just remember. And for a lot of us, we never saw the movie. And so as a result, we just know that. And also scenes in movies, I forget what movie it was. They cut a scene out when the movie went to DVD or was shown on TV. And people were like, whoa, what happened to that scene with such and such? And I was like, yeah, they cut that out. And then And when you find like copies of it, like more recent copies of that particular movie, it was like that scene was completely gone. And then, luckily enough, people had old versions of it, and it was like, haha, see? And no one understood why they did that. And then there's a movie called Harlem Nights. There's a scene where Eddie Murphy shoots off Della Reese's toe. He has the gun, he goes, boom, and he shoots her toe off. They show him shooting her toe off. But after theatrical release and maybe a couple years later after it was syndicated, or not syndicated, but yeah, syndicated, where the movie was being shown, it was edited out. All you do is you show him and he kind of goes like that, and that's the end of it. But yeah, they actually show him blowing her toe off. And I remember the first time, I was like, why did they take that out? It's like, they've shown worse on TV. But yeah, they edited that out. And then like on later releases, that whole scene is just, that scene where he does that is gone. And they just left it out. It's like, well, I guess it wasn't necessary. I mean, I guess you get the idea because the next scene she's in the ambulance. But yeah, it's interesting when stuff like that happens, where you're just like, why did they take that scene out? And that's like the real Ghostbusters cartoon. There was an episode where, there's a couple episodes where they took a scene out, and because they took that one scene out, it changed the show for me. It changed that episode, because I remember it's like the guy's talking about, she reminds me of my mom, and he goes, and I think it's the character, is it Peter? He goes back to see this woman, this old lady who's by herself, and they took that out, and it changed the ending of the show. It had a more wholesome ending, and then they took that out, and it changed the whole ending. And that's around that time is also when I learned that syndication, they buy so many minutes, and I didn't know that. Yeah, it was like you bought it, like you only bought so many minutes because you had to get commercials in there. So it's like, there was something like that. Like you bought so many minutes, so it had to be edited to fit your time frame. And I was like, that is so weird. And yeah, that was just. And I miss syndication. I don't have cable, so I don't know if there's any shows that are syndicated right now. Everything's streaming. And I miss straight to VHS movies. People, I think the 80s and 90s, even early 2000s before streaming really took off, there's so many movies that went straight to VHS. And then, towards the 2000s, straight to DVD, but those are all gone. And now you can post your movies on the internet, but the truth is, there's no guarantee you're going to get an audience these days because there's so many things out there on the internet. With the straight to VHS, people would go to the VHS stores or the movie rental stores, and you could walk around and see something. You'll see the cover, like, oh, what is this? And you read it, and you're like, oh, I want to see this. So yeah, I do miss those. It was the Roger Corman? He was big for that. So we need some people like Roger Corman to start producing shows and movies. I thought about doing that, but I don't have any friends. so that's not an option. But selective service. I saw a thing about these people didn't realize, the guys didn't realize they had to register for selective service. And I was thinking about that also. I mean, legally you have to register, but I don't think it's actually enforced. Like, no one goes around saying, hey, you didn't register. Because I guarantee you there's probably thousands, if not millions of people in the United States who have never registered for it. And that's why I said it's not enforced, because it hasn't been necessary. I know at one point they talked about doing away with it. And then when the whole equality push for women in the military was going on, let's say the 90s, early 2000s, women had to register for selective service as well. But with DEI stuff going on, is selective service even necessary? Do women need to register? Do the gays? Do trans people? Because he doesn't want any of them in the military. So did DEI affect that as well? And also, with selective service, like I said, it's not really enforced. I kind of wonder if it's even necessary. So as much money as we spend on our military isn't necessarily still has selective service. But anyways, I gotta remember to add the animation in so you guys see what I'm talking about. And I thought about doing I have a little animation at the beginning of this and at the end, but I don't have one for my React video. I may have to create one for it. But that aside, don't forget to like and subscribe, and maybe I will keep doing the videos for right now. But otherwise, everyone take care. Later.